Hi everyone, I'm Arthur Dickins and this is my Rugby Legends podcast. In each episode, I interview an amazing rugby player or coach to get their advice. To get their insight and advice for young rugby players just like me who are keen to learn and get better. In this episode, I'm speaking with Tommy Freeman, the Northampton Saints, England and Lions winger. Tommy is very big and very quick. He's made over a century of appearances for Northampton Saints and won the Premiership title in 2024. In 2025 Six Nations, he became the first Englishman to score in every single round of the tournament, a remarkable feat. And that form earned him his starting place on the British and Irish Lions tour of Australia last year. I hope you find Tommy's knowledge and wisdom as helpful as I did. Enjoy. Firstly, Tommy, I just want to say thanks so much for taking the time to be on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
No worries at all. Thanks for having me, Arthur.
So firstly, Tommy, what other sports did you play growing up? And at what age did you give them up for rugby?
Yeah, so I grew up playing football as a youngster. I'm sure most people do, don't they? And then when I went to Colford School, that was when they didn't do football. So we had hockey, cricket, rugby. So yeah, that was the first time I was introduced to all those sports. But I fell in love with rugby as soon as I played it, but also loved hockey. And yeah, played pretty well at hockey as well. So it got to about the age of 14 where they were like, you need to kind of decide where you want to go. Do you want to go and play hockey or do you want to play rugby? So mum and dad probably had a bit of a fair say in that one as well. They definitely preferred to watch rugby than hockey. So that kind of made my mind up a little bit. But no, it was rugby all the time, I think. So it was about 14, 15 when the academy started coming into play is when you kind of forced for a decision. So yeah, rugby was the no-brainer.
What position did you play in hockey?
In hockey, I was right wing or striker. Yeah, always scoring goals or trying to at least. It was boring other than that. Defending wasn't really that fun in hockey, is it? It's all about scoring goals. And similar in rugby, if I'm honest. You'd rather do that bit than the defending bit.
Yeah, and hockey as well, I like to play striker as well.
Oh, nice. So you're the same then, love scoring goals.
Yeah, I love getting those tap-ins.
Exactly.
Did you always play wing when you were younger at Colford?
No, absolutely not. And I never thought I'd end up here either. Started at fly half, which I'm sure is the dream for most kids. I played fly half till about under 16s. Then left Colford, went to Moulton College, then got pushed out into the centres because there was a pretty good 10 we had. Then got pushed back to fullback, and then eventually, pushed out onto the wing. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, going back out onto the wing, having all the skills at 10 and fullback and centre and stuff, and then getting pushed onto the wing. But no, it's turned out all right, if I'm honest.
Out of those positions, which one was your favourite to play?
As a kid, I loved 10. Obviously, I think, trying to pull the strings and make others look good was what I tried to do as a youngster. But I think as you grow up a little bit and it's tough now. Even so, like I'm playing around with centre as well and being on the wing. You've got licenses to do different stuff on the wing. I think in today's game, I think it's not just about staying on your wing and being the quickest player. I think you've got a license to get off it and go and create something. So yeah, the wing's a lot of fun. A bit of free roaming. Centres, there's obviously loads of cool stuff you can do in there, and you get a few more touches. But growing up, I loved playing 10. I'd have a joke with Richard Wigglesworth and say one day I'll get back there. He said home game at Chile maybe, but that'll be as far as it goes.
Yeah, I actually played fly half as well.
Oh, nice. Are you still playing there now?
Yeah, no, still playing there for club and school, which is quite nice.
Nice. If someone moves, you say no.
I'll make sure.
Nice.
What made you choose rugby over these other sports?
It's a good question. For me, it was never really the physical aspects of the game that I enjoyed. I was obviously very small growing up. I had two big brothers who had a growth spurt pretty early. They're both 6'1", 6'4", so they had the growth spurt pretty early, and I was still pretty small. So the physical side of the game didn't appeal to me, but I just think it was the evasive game. I think obviously it's a good group of lads. Rugby, you're pretty close all the time, and I just think that camaraderie and stuff as a team and as a team game. I think obviously putting your bodies on the line for each other at the end of the day. And I know it hurts, but that feeling afterwards, there's no better feeling when you've had a good win and you've worked hard for it.
100% and getting the ball.
Exactly. Yeah,
Uh,
that's
what
crucial.
what age were you like when you turned your height now? What age were you?
So I was in my second year of sixth form, so I was probably about 5'7", 5'8" in my lower sixth, so that's year 12. And then that summer to going into year 13 was when I just shot up. I was a bit lanky. I was probably about 83 kilograms and about 6'2" or a little bit shorter. But yeah, it was that year, so it was bound to happen. But yeah, it was a little bit late than I had hoped. I'd have probably liked to have been a bit more physical and kind of challenged the bigger boys at school, but no, eventually it took its turn.
How did you like deal with being such like a late developer? Like, did you have any moments you wanted to give up?
Oh God, yeah, 100%. I remember there was late nights going down to Leicester Tigers training. Obviously, being smaller, I felt like I had the attributes from a skill set point of view, and kind of bringing others into the game. But yeah, as soon as I either broke the line or someone was running directly at me, I was getting caught up with pretty quickly or getting put on my back really. So yeah, there was a lot of difficult conversations I had, fell out of love with the game, but mum was pretty persistent to keep me turning up every week, and she just knew the growth spurt was going to come. And obviously having two older brothers who were towering above me, they knew it was going to happen at some point. So yeah, thanks to them, I stuck with it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the smaller side of the game, but my brother's about 5'8", so hopefully,
Yeah, it's
cross
time.
fingers.
Exactly, yeah. I think you probably see that a little bit across the board in Premiership and universities and stuff. You see lads getting picked up from unis a little bit later, when they've obviously had a bit more development and things like that. So yeah, for any encouragement, yeah, just don't give up. Stick with it if that's what you want to do, and your time will come.
You were released by Leicester Tigers as a 16-year-old. What did that rejection teach you?
Initially, not a lot. You'd think I'd be head and hands upset, really upset about it all, but it was quite a big cut. There was like four different regions. You had Staffordshire, Lincolnshire, obviously Norfolk, and then Leicestershire. So there was a lot of lads, and I'm sure there was a lot of Tommies getting cut, to be honest. So yeah, I didn't really take it to heart. All I cared about was enjoying the sport, and your time will come. I think being involved in an academy setup obviously feels professional, and it's pretty special feeling, like being a part of a group that's obviously a little bit better than your schoolmates and things like that. So yeah, it was probably hard to go back into school and be like, oh, I'm with you guys now, I'm back with you boys. So yeah, initially maybe that bit hurt, but I think for me it was all about playing sport. And at 16 I was still diving into other sports. I still played a bit of hockey, I still messed around and played football with my mates. So yeah, it was pretty easy to get over. And yeah, I just kind of cracked on, and I never really thought I'd make it, if I'm honest. I think there's probably times at school where I wasn't really captain. There was always someone better than me, so it was always like trying to prove myself, and I always kind of like felt like that at school, that I had to prove myself to everyone, and I felt like I did that. And then yeah, and then at Moulton it kind of took a turn.
Yeah, if anything, I've heard some coaches say it's good to have competition because it kind of rises the level a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's massive competition, and you still have it in the Premiership here and training at Saints. You're always competing, and if you're not competing, you're not getting better. If you're comfortable sat up there, then you're not challenging yourself. So, no, I think having competition at school and making everything a competition, I think is good. I think if you've got that nature about you, I think winning just makes it feel a little bit nicer and sweeter, I think.
What are the coaching lessons that have stuck with you?
I think, like I've kind of touched on, and a never give up mentality has been massive for me. Obviously, not being the biggest, not being the strongest, the fastest, but just controlling what you can control, really. And I would also say enjoying it. I know it's said a lot and chucked around a lot, but honestly, if you don't enjoy it, what's the point? Obviously, there's going to be days where it's hard and it gets tough and you're out of breath and things like that, but you got to love being in a bit of pain, and because when you come out of it the other side, it's a lot better. But no, I think I've been lucky to have a lot of good coaches. that have really kind of invested in me as a person and as a player. And I think if you know the player as a person and you know them on off the pitch, I think only helps when you're on it.
Thank you.
No worries.
Which players inspired you growing up, and what was inspiring about them?
I was a massive Harlequins fan growing up. Absolutely loved Harlequins. So Nick Evans, Danny Care, Mike Brown, they were my three favourite players at school. I was pretty, obviously England was another, watching them and stuff, but I was Harlequins obsessed. So yeah, those three lads really kind of who I looked up to. I think Danny Care, he's a bit of a legend for England as well. Always kind of kept the game fast and was a little bit out there, which I quite liked. Nick Evans was obviously fly half, so yeah, watching him play was kind of how I wanted to play. And then Mike Brown was also just a good running rugby player and had a good brain. So yeah, those three kind of I looked up to as a kid and loved it.
So no Jason Robinson.
No, to be honest, by that point, I probably was a bit late to getting into rugby. I was into some younger guys, I would say, at that point. But obviously, Jason Robinson is a very good player and very quick. And obviously, being a winger, I probably didn't have any interest in what he was about. So, but no, he did well and he's very good as well.
After joining Northampton Saints as an 18-year-old, how did you give yourself the best chance of getting a pro contract?
Oh, yeah, good question. So obviously being released from Leicester, I had a decision to stay at Colford or make a move. Colford, rugby-wise, probably wasn't going to develop me. I probably wasn't going to get much out of it and get myself in a shop window. So there was a teacher there called Charlie Sadler who played in the academy at Saints and got a nasty shoulder injury. So he ended up coaching me at Colford for a bit, and he said, go to Moulton College. That's where he went. And it's like linked with Northampton. So yeah, I kind of took the leap, and obviously Colford probably didn't offer something educationally for me, and from a rugby point of view, I probably wasn't going to get anywhere. So yeah, I tried to put myself in the shop window really at Moulton. In my first year, they weren't interested, didn't have a look in, went to no academy sessions. Then John Clark, who used to play for Saints, was coaching me in my second year at Moulton, and he said, have you not had a look in? And I said, no, not yet. And he said, I'll come down to a training session and we'll get you in. And then I went down, played a pre-season game, played quite well, then started for the rest of the under-18s league, really. And then I was thinking, there's no way I'm getting a contract here. They've got lads here they've had in the system from about 13. They've probably made their mind up already. It's the last year. So, yeah, I just went into every game thinking it's not going to happen. Go have fun, show what you can do. I had Australia lined up, wanted to go and travel in Australia and play a bit of rugby down there. But yeah, that got put on hold when I got brought into the office and they offered me one.
Do you ever think of redoing the Australia trip?
I had a thought during maybe the academy years when I wasn't playing too much at Northampton, but after it took off, yeah, probably not. But fortunately, I've been to Australia with England and the Lions now, so it's yeah, I'd rather take that way than the other way.
So it must always be quite nice when you're playing Leicester Tigers and just sometimes so-called winning.
Yeah. It's a good feeling. I think obviously the derby and Northampton's rivalry through the history and the years of playing that game. Yeah, it's always special. It's an always special game when we win that game. And yeah, a little bit sweeter for me, especially.
When did you know that winger was your position? Was this your decision or did it come from a coach?
No, came from a coach. So Ferbs had been unlucky with a few injuries. I came off the bench against Gloucester. And went quite well. And then I played at fullback for most of the academy stuff, those A-League games, and then this game, and then had the Premiership and a good few games at fullback. And then when Ferbs became fit again, he slotted straight into fullback, and they thought, oh, Chris Boyd at the time, has said, oh, do you want to try giving the wing a go? I think back three for me was always an option. I would always train on the wing and fullback, so it wasn't something that shocked me when to play in it. Obviously, playing it's a little bit different, and you've got to get used to that, and for the Premiership especially. But no, it was Boydie's idea to get us all on the pitch and see how we went, and yeah, and then it kind of went quite well.
Yeah, as Freddie Stewart said, he said for the fullback that you have to contact with the wingers a lot. So you and Ferbs must have had really good friends.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to miss him because he's obviously leaving at the end of the year. So it's pretty sad for us. And yeah, I played pretty good with Furbs. You've got to have a pretty good connection with those wingers, like Freddie said. And yeah, the better you can connect as a back three, it makes everything a bit seamless, and you get some pretty good rewards off the back of it if you're all in sync, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. But we're quite nice playing against them next year, won't it?
Oh no, it'll be weird. It'll be weird. He might make some of us look a bit silly, but let's hope I can remember some of his traits and stuff to not let that happen.
To any young and aspiring wingers out there, what's one piece of advice you would give them?
I think for me, obviously, I've got a pretty um, wide kind of skill set, I'd say. It's a winger. When you think of a winger, you think he's the quickest on the pitch. He's going to stay on his wing and yeah, kind of just be that pace guy, finish tries. I think wing, especially at the top level, is a lot more than that. I think if you can obviously bring that aerial game to your locker and get off your wing as much as you can, I think the more touches you get as a winger, I think the better for the team. Technically, rugby is done on a bit of work rate when you're in attack. If you're a winger that can go and create an extra number elsewhere, I think that'll only bode well for the team. So, yeah, I know you're a winger, but I'd say get off your wing as much as possible and get your hands on the ball.
Yeah, no, I see it in academies when I watch like the under-18s, for example. Some of their centres, for example, they get pushed out to the wing because they've got really good skill set and they're quick.
Yeah, exactly. I think the more versatility you've got can only help you. And yeah, I think if you've got centres playing as wingers and wingers playing as centres, then yeah, it all bodes pretty well.
Yeah, a bit like you.
Yeah, yeah. Still lots to work on though. We're still working hard, and obviously centre's pretty new, so there's a lot of good centres out there that I'm learning off, and hopefully can compete there.
Who are you learning off?
Well, in the Lions tour, obviously Gary Ringrose is a legend. Sione Tuipulotu, Hugh Jones, all these guys. It was awesome to play around with them, and obviously I was on the wing for the Lions for the majority. But I definitely tried to pick up as much as I could in general phase play and in general play as a centre as well. But obviously we've got some pretty good centres at the club at Northampton as well. So yeah, there's still lots of learning. It's still pretty fresh, but no, I'm loving it.
What do you enjoy most about playing wing?
Other than scoring tries and celebrating, or trying to celebrate, but Pollock interrupting you rudely, I would say, I think, like I just mentioned, I think having that free roaming ability to get off your wing and go and find Finn or the boys' shoulders and kind of create that numerical advantage, I think it is really fun. You get yourself in the backfield as well, and you've got a lot of running space. That's always fun, and that's the best part of the game, really, isn't it? It's getting your hands on the ball and taking people on. And obviously, you've got players inside you that put you in pretty good space to go and finish some nice tries as well.
Speaking of celebrations, which one was your favourite to do?
Oh, I think the lawnmower went down quite well, I think. I'm not sure. That's always good fun. Um, I think Pollock's got a few in the locker that he's probably keeping ready to go. We always have a little chat in the gym and have a laugh about what we're going to do next and things like that. So yeah, there's celebrations are all the kind of things that come off the back of it, but you don't want to celebrate too early. You need to get the ball down and make sure you're winning the game before you start thinking about that stuff.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I love the wheelbarrow, and I remember Finn yesterday was like,
Yeah, he did that one. He loves that one. I think that's his trademark now. I think he's going to have to keep doing that. But yeah, it'll be good to see that. We don't see Finn go over too many times, so it's always nice to see something come out of him. He's not one for celebrations. When you celebrate and you chuck the ball into the crowd, he hates it because he's got to get the ball back and take the kick. So he's just trying to find the ball and do all that stuff. So no, he's pretty strict with them.
how do you prepare for a big game, and when does this process start?
I'm probably not like others in preparing for a game. I think from a nutritional point of view, it's very important, and that starts 48 hours before. I think you want to be carb loading, making sure you're hydrated, doing all those things. Yeah, so you have a pretty big feed 2 days before, game before, the night before as well. You want to get some good food in so you've got enough energy for the game. But from like a mental point of view, the more relaxed I am, I think the better. if I'm a little bit like hot-headed and aggressive and riled up, like some boys are. I don't think that benefits me. I like to have a little dance in the changing room before, get the tendons warm, have a laugh with the lads. Yeah, a lot of dancing, to be honest, goes on before games. So yeah, I'd like to go on Candy Crush on my phone. Yeah, I just try and do anything but not think about the game until I'm out on the warm up, and then you're really into it, and you're in the flow of rugby. And um, I think the easiest thing for me, and I'd recommend it to anyone, is when you go into a game. There's that, obviously you've got the nerves. There's a no-brainer, but as soon as you get your hands on the ball, those nerves kind of go to bed. So the earlier you can do that, I think the better. But yeah, before the game, I'm pretty chilled.
What are the kind of go-to dance moves?
Oh God, I can't expose that. It's a load of rubbish, if I'm honest. A lot of two-stepping, yeah, a mixture of an awful lot. I couldn't even name the dances, to be honest. But yeah, hopefully no one's recording, and we're not going viral on TikTok again. So yeah, there's a few out there.
Remember Henry Slade? He got one of yours on video.
He did. He was very sneaky. To be fair, we're probably keeping him awake, so he had every right to do that, I'd say.
And when you say you help yourself relax, would you listen to any music, or how do you do that?
Yeah, so like coming into the club, obviously in the car, listening to music on the headphones and stuff like that. So I would do a little bit, but I quite like just talking to the lads, having conversations, playing cards on the way up to games, on the bus and things like that, on the way back as well. Yeah, so I like to just keep my mind busy away from the game until it's time to go. As soon as you start thinking about the game, you could probably put a lot of scenarios in your head and overthink some stuff and think, oh, I'm going to do this or try this. And then your mind can go on a big old adventure and you get sweaty hands and you start thinking about stuff like that. So yeah, I try and avoid that, kind of switch off away from rugby until it's go time, really.
Yeah, I wonder what's going through Henry's mind. Maybe a chip and chase.
Yeah, there'll be something. It'll be a celebration or nothing, to be honest. He's might not be thinking about absolute anything.
If you've made a mistake in a game, how do you not let it affect you as the match goes on?
It's a good question. It's a skill. It's a definite skill to have and to learn. For me, I think you're always going to have mistakes in rugby. It's all about kind of not backing them up. If you're getting all tight and uptight about dropping the ball because you've dropped the one before, I think that you're obviously going to overthink that and probably drop the ball. So I think it's just making sure whatever you do next, you nail it, and focusing on that next job and not thinking about the thing you've just done. Obviously, mistakes are made, and mistakes are good because you're putting yourself under pressure and you're doing things. But there's always human error in a game of sport, so that's how teams can kind of change momentum and things like that. But you've just got to focus on what you're doing next and what the next job is. If it's a defensive set, if it's running a shoulder ball off a set play or whatever it looks like, it's making sure you just nail that and then you're back into the swing of things, really.
As Ted Lasso would say, memory like a goldfish.
Exactly. And I've definitely got one of those, so helps me.
What did touring and playing for the Lions last year teach you about being a great teammate?
Oh, it was a lot. It was a brilliant tour, firstly. When you go on a tour, obviously you've got lads from different countries coming together to play for one team, and you've got to make sure you learn everything as quickly as possible, understand people's traits, how they do things, how you do things. And I think being in as open and honest is probably what you need to do. Obviously, you'd say they're older lads who have been on previous tours, but at the end of the day, you've all been picked for a reason, and you've got to come together and make sure you get a result at the end of the day. So yeah, it was just flying into everything with open arms and leaning on people, listening to people, and kind of giving your advice and how you like to receive the ball or things like that in the game, to kind of make sure the team gets the result they need. So yeah, learning really fast was the main thing, but also being a good lad off the pitch. You want to obviously make some good friends, and we have done so. That's really important, and making sure you socialise and involve yourself as best as you can to be that best teammate.
When we interviewed Jamie George, he says you guys often warm up with cricket.
Yeah, we love cricket. That's the thing. I don't know if it's a sport thing. I think every other sport warms up with a different sport. Yeah, it's either cricket or football, and obviously playing at the MCG in Melbourne was pretty special. And yeah, we had a quick game of cricket in the pre-game the day before the game, so that was really good and a lot of fun.
What would be your favourite to warm up with, like as a team bonding, football or cricket?
I think cricket goes down well. Cricket goes down very well. Always pretty good. Gets everyone involved, and yeah, it's good fun.
Would you say batsman or a bowler?
I'd say an all-rounder, really. A little bit of everything. Probably batting probably lets me down because my ego probably overtakes it, and I just try and whack everyone for six and make a fool of myself really in that way. But no, I'd say I like to do a little bit of everything, jump in and out of it all, really.
Who, in your opinion, do you say was like the best cricketer?
Best cricketer, George Furbank, hands down. We did a bit of a cinch. Yeah, with the Northampton cricket players, and Furbs generally could have fit in there like a glove. He was in his element and he was loving it. He's a very good player, to be fair. Alex Coles. I think he's good, or he thinks he's really good and tries to look the part, which might be disguising it a little bit. But no, he's pretty keen and full nose for cricket. So no, those two are pretty good.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing the cinch thing. I think it was you kept jumping up, and then Finn was taking the mic.
I know, yeah, 100%. I mean, I haven't faced a few balls like that in a long time since being at school, and I think obviously they're probably coming at me a little bit quicker than they do at school. So, and it's not a softball, is it? It's not like a tennis ball or an Incrediball. It's a pretty hard ball. Even though you got pads on, you're still worried.
What was the highlight of the tour for you?
There were so many. It's hard. I think obviously winning that game in the MCG was massive. Playing in front of all those people and yeah, 102,000 or whatever it was really cool. There's no feeling quite like it. But to be honest, I enjoyed every moment on that tour, whether it was off the pitch, on the pitch, just being a part of a squad and obviously representing the pinnacle of rugby was a real big highlight. And I think it was only till I came off the tour I really realised that. Obviously, you're travelling a lot and you're playing rugby a lot and you're doing things, so you're just invested in it completely. But when you really come back and you take a look back on what you've done and what you've achieved, and I would have never thought I'd have started all three tests. I thought being selected in the first place is more than enough, but to be able to go and play all three games was extra special.
Did you have like a favourite game?
I think the Brisbane game was really good. Obviously winning that was pretty special to start with and having a good start, but that MCG, I don't think you could compare it. I think obviously we probably didn't play that well as best as we probably could have, but I think to go away with a win and win the series at that place in front of that many people, yeah, you couldn't write it really.
Yeah, no, it's such a good tour. I love watching on TV. It's so cool seeing all the best players play together.
Yeah, it is cool. It is really cool. And yeah, to be a part of it as well, I bet it is pretty special.
How much time will you get off in the summer? And does your training continue during this downtime? So
we'll get about 5 weeks off in the summer after the summer tour. And what does that look like for me? So the first 3 weeks, I would say, is probably doing not a lot. The odd gym session, the odd pump, the odd little upper body just to keep you ticking over, maybe like a little watt bike, but to be honest, that's completely like try and be off feet as much as possible, relax, sit in the sun, go on holiday, play golf, paddle, whatever it looks like. Yeah, probably completely switch off. And then the last 2 weeks, I'll probably start introducing a bit more of a plan. You get sent a few bits from the club to keep you going. So if that looks like gym, a few running sessions, acceleration sessions. And yeah, I think it's just to build it back up. So when you come in on that first day of pre-season, your legs aren't fully full of DOMs and you're in a lot of pain after that first day and you're struggling and your lungs are burning. So I think they try and blow the cobwebs out a little bit early. And then by the time you come in, you can pick up a rugby ball and focus more on the rugby stuff rather than the fitness.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing one of those. I remember seeing Mark Smith on the watt bike. He was pedalling. I was like sweat dripping down, looking mad.
Oh yeah, it's horrendous. Some of the stuff you have to do to get back in shape, it is tough because you can let yourself go a little bit in those 5 weeks off. You can obviously eat a little bit nicer, have a few drinks, and as soon as you start doing that, your weight can fluctuate a little bit. So you've got to, as much as you want to switch off, you've got to stay on top of it and make sure you're looking after the body.
Yeah.
Or you get punished on pre-season of day one and you get stuck on a watt bike for a few weeks, and it's not nice.
Yeah, luckily for us, we have pre-season, but not the really big pre-season. So, but then Ipswich, for example, one of our friends goes there. They've got like a week of pre-season. It's mad.
That's not what you want, is it? You want to be focusing on the sport rather than the fitness stuff, don't you?
100%.
Yeah, you want to be running around having fun with your mates, not getting blasted on watt bikes and things like that in running sessions.
Final question, Tommy. What's the best thing about being a professional rugby player?
If I'm honest, it doesn't feel like a job. You obviously talk to your mates from school, and they've obviously got 9 to 5s, and they're going into their office and they're doing their jobs and they're coming back and yeah, to be honest, it just feels like a big family really at Northampton, especially. You go in, you've got your best mates, you're having a laugh with them every day, you go in smiling, and yeah, you're playing sport that you love. And I know it's difficult, but you're obviously gymming and your body's in shape pretty much all the time. Obviously, when you've got a different job and you've got to go and then gym and do all that stuff after work, is probably a lot more difficult. And I couldn't imagine doing it, but luckily it's part of the job. And yeah, you stay in shape and you perform in front of 15 to 80,000 people. So yeah, when you're doing that for a living, you never want to take it for granted, and it's the best job in the world. But it is a loose job in terms of I couldn't call it a job. It just feels like I've come out of school and I'm just carrying on playing rugby and I'm acting like a school kid with all my mates. So yeah, I would say being a professional rugby player, there's no job quite like it.
Yeah, it's like a dream of mine to be a professional rugby player. I'd love to be one.
Are you full in for rugby then? Do you want to be you don't want to be a cricketer or anything like that for rugby?
I'm pretty good at most sports, but yeah, for me, I just love everything about it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, stick at it, and I'm sure you'll be flying.
Thanks so much, Tommy, and I can't thank you enough for being on a podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time.
No worries, Arthur. Thanks for having me.